Hi everyone, and welcome to Sports Watch. If you like the content, please press the bell icon for further notifications and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Joshua is just a week away. Both guys are looking in phenomenal shape and are really prepared to go. Only a week to decide who will be the hammer and who will be the nail. On paper, it should not be a competitive fight, given the wealth of experience that Joshua has in boxing and given it's his sport. But then again, Tyson Fury found out the hard way that Francis Ngannou is not someone who can be underestimated. He's not someone who can be pushed around and bullied. So the X factor is definitely with Francis. But conventional wisdom says that it's Joshua's fight, and that too by a huge margin. Experts have mostly given AJ the nod, but it is the heavyweight division, and Francis Ngannou does hit like a truck. Let's look at some of the variables that makes this fight interesting. The size of Francis Ngannou. For the first time in his career, Anthony Joshua would be facing someone across him who is bigger and more physically intimidating than him. Usually, most of Joshua's opponents are very respectful of him and dare not awaken the giant. AJ thrives in these situations where he feels that he can outmuscle his opponent. If the push comes to shove, he can run through them. But Francis is a different beast. The calmness and the determination and the fearlessness can give you chills. And it takes a lot of courage to say that. He will take every bit of energy from deep down to try and knock Joshua out. The way in which he says it makes you believe literally that he means it. It's not a lie like Otto Wallin, who never talked all the talk and never backed it up. And when the fight came, he looked too shell shocked. Francis Ngannou won't go down without a fight, and Joshua also knows deep down that if it were in the octagon with 4 ounce gloves, then Francis would have probably ripped him apart limb by limb. It's the alpha male that Francis is that he comes into another man's sport, not just to take part, but to take over. This might psychologically haunt Joshua because Ngannou is that monster who nobody wants to be in the wrong side of. Francis too is standing against someone who is a devastating puncher and a knockout artist like himself. AJ too has his African genes and is a fast and devastating combination puncher himself. You can't stand toe to toe with him and not get hurt in the process. Francis can't have second doubts while facing Joshua. If he does, he will get knocked spark out. The last time Francis Ngannou faced someone who was a devastating knockout artist like himself was in the octagon against a certain Derek Lewis. And guess what happened? It was one of the worst heavyweight fights in UFC history, and Francis lost. He didn't throw many punches, and neither did Lewis, because it was a straight shootout, and whoever landed first would put out the lights of the other. Joshua and his team should know this as well. They would try and plant that seed of doubt in his head. Another interesting point to note is that the Fury fight was Ngannou's first professional boxing fight, the first time he had gone 10 rounds. There were lots of speculations in that fight whether Francis can go 10 rounds and not get tired. So he was learning on the way and trying to pace himself. His right hand, which is his biggest weapon, was almost non existent in that fight. But he timed Fury and still dropped him with his left. This time around, Francis is bound to be better than the last, and he knows very well that the challenge at hand is not easy. Joshua won't clinch like Fury. He would jab and throw straight punches with speed and precision. And Francis isn't fast and elusive. He would get hit by Joshua, no doubt about it. But what if he backs AJ against the ropes and lets his hand go? If any of them lands, then Joshua ain't getting up. Francis, in his MMA career, has never been knocked down. He has been stunned. He got beat up when he was tired, but never finished. And Joshua, since the Ruiz fight, has been struggling to get his mojo back. So it's a clash of the titans. Who do you think gets his hand raised? Will it be Joshua or will it be Ngannou? Let me know in the comment section what you feel, and if you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.